cold temperatures. I want to show you guys feels like conditions across the United States right now. These are super impressive. We're talking. Okay, I gotta like open up my eyes big so that I don't mess up these numbers.
Rhinelander, Wisconsin is what stuck out to me.
Yes, negative 46. What is that?
What does that
What
even
is that?
feel like?
We don't know. I have no idea. Truly, I don't know what I would tell.
Is that
viewers.
Geraldton, Canada?
Oh, well, do I know how to pronounce it? No, but I do see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Negative 47. So this is why I'm grateful that our winds are pivoting to the southwest, because when our winds shift to the southwest, the direction in which our air mass is coming from also changes, which means while this isn't great, we're going to get the air coming from the negative 20s rather than the negative 40s, which I will argue is better and is an improvement in terms of the forecast, which is why tomorrow afternoon we will be back in the teens for our actual readings. Sub-zero feels like conditions.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
So you keep the temperature map up there.
Okay.
I mean, you've got negative 38 in Fargo, negative 10 in Montreal. You've got negative 7 in Pittsburgh. Again, we're talking about feels like temps, right?
Right.
And we even have, we do break into double digits once we get over to DC, and then single digits in Richmond, Virginia. I'm looking at a map here that I don't think happens very often, right? Temperature-wise. Why did it happen like this, and what was the setup?
The famous words of the polar vortex.
Oh, it's
Tanner.
polar vortex.
The famous words.
I've heard that.
So the polar vortex always exists, right? The polar vortex is always there. It's just, it fluctuates, right? It kind of moves like this. Anyone move this with me? So this is how the polar vortex moves all around the Arctic.
Kind of like my
it kind
brain.
of swerves. Sure.
Sometimes.
And this is how we go in and out of our shows in the morning. Sometimes we're really there, sometimes we're not. Sometimes that cold air or that pattern can oscillate really low.
Okay.
And when that happens, it pulls that Arctic air down with it, pulls the cold Canadian air that always kind of sits there into the continental United States. That pattern doesn't happen very often. There's really specific setups that have to come along to make it happen. Typically, though, when we do get in this time of the winter season, especially with the climate patterns that we were expecting to set up this winter season, it causes that cold air to dip down. And I feel like we have a map of the upper levels and showing that cold air mass dipping down. Do you know where that map is? Yeah, if you look, if you type in the European model, that map will pop up, and then we can show them kind of where that cold bubble sits right now, and we'll see that, be able to watch it as it moves across.
While he's pulling that up, do you remember a few years ago when we had, frigid conditions like this down toward Florida, in places like Houston, Texas, bizarre places that don't normally see.
And there's snowstorms right now in Texas.
I actually have it on Max 2 if we take Max 2.
The snowstorm down there? Yeah, let's look at it.
It's actually snowing on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Think about, they just had that big football bowl there not too long ago. I can't remember. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. That's not how you say. They had
Was it the
something
Sugar
else
Bowl?
there too.
Well, the Super Bowl is happening soon.
Yeah, they have the Super.
Sorry, Lions fans.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Is the Super
No,
Bowl?
but there was a part of the national championship, the college playoffs, a few weeks ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to blame this on pregnancy brain there. But imagining this was happening
And look
during
at
that.
this, a blizzard warning on the Gulf
my
Coast.
gosh.
Warning on the Gulf Coast.
That's the first time that has ever happened.
Wow.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is this kind of like the same setup that we had a few years ago? We've been through something like this, where we were seeing winter weather conditions south of, Indiana or Tennessee, Kentucky.
Yeah, well, Tanner, what you're looking for in a hardy, true winter storm, not lake effect snow, right? We see lake effect snow, it's very different than what they're experiencing, is a contrast in temperatures. It's the same way that severe weather sets up. You want that warm, moist air butting up against that cold Arctic air. If the cold air overcomes
Wait, hold on.
it.
You're saying we want.
Well,
we don't want
we
that.
don't want it. Yeah.
But that's how it works.
In the meteorology world, we might every once in a while want that to happen. And when those cold air masses and the warm air mass, they start this battle, right, at each other, and that builds these clouds and builds these clouds, builds them full of moisture. And then this is, I'm sure, heavy, wet, dense snow that's coming down. Not the easy stuff to brush off your car. And then not to mention, they have no idea how to deal with snow like
We
this.
have a station in Houston, KHOU, and they've been reporting on the snow that has been happening there, which again, Texas infrastructure is not built. I'm just going to say it. It's not built
No,
like
it
how
shouldn't
we
be.
have it up here, right? We have our road commissions are very well trained on some of this. I would bet that Houston, weather-wise, is crippled as a city
Yeah,
right now.
I would imagine so. Colton, tell me more about what you're pointing to with the fancy yellow arrow.
Yeah.
So this little orange area, which includes Lake Charles, that's actually the blizzard warning in this little orange section here. So along with the snow, you're seeing really strong winds because a blizzard is not just, oh, it's a lot of snow.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
You need the winds and the poor visibility. And I mean, this is the first time a blizzard warning has ever been issued on the Gulf Coast. So that's pretty impressive if this cold is really making a blizzard.
And you're
on the
really saying
beaches.
this is the
Yeah.
first time that this has happened.
Happening in history.
So what do you think it's like for those folks down there?
Awful.
Awful.
I mean, that's really the only way you can describe it because they don't have one, as you mentioned, the infrastructure at play. They don't have the plow trucks down there.
Right.
They don't have the salt. They don't have the crews, the people like Michelle Robinson
Yeah,
down there,
yeah, I
ready to
know.
help people out in these cases. I mean, of course they do, but they're not used to this type of weather.
Yeah, we're talking about Lieutenant Michelle Robinson, who is joining us live via Zoom right now.